A couple of housekeeping things.
Thank you, Michelle.
You know you're old when I'm sitting next to the person that was on the commission during 7 and 8 and the crisis.
The hell, you're looking at you're looking at the former commissioner and the former executive official mayor or whatever, ex-officio mayor. So you're in seriousness, though, Mr. Chairman, when you get, I would like to make a comment on that.
Well, but again, one of the things that I wanted to comment about, and Michelle and I were just talking about that, is with this budget, it was done long before this crisis hit. We know that the crisis is going to affect things to some degree. We don't know what. What we did a while back, when Eric got here and we passed issue 8, we kind of went on overdrive, okay? We said, hey, we've got no critical things. We can meet on a quarterly basis and, get things done. Well, I'm going to take us back to 2007 and 8, where we met on a monthly basis and make a strong recommendation. Matter of fact, I'm going to make meetings happen that, Michelle, the dates that I had indicated, that if we go to the April.
It's going to be April 17th, right, and then May 15th.
And then our June meeting is already set.
Yep.
So unless I hear a strong, objection from somebody, I want to stay on top of this and a hold of it, and Eric, give you whatever help you need, okay? I mean, it's your budget, it's the situation, it's Mr. Waddington's, he's the one's voting on it, but this committee, I think, did a phenomenal job getting us through those turbulent times. I think these turbulent times we will get through. I know, I've heard all the rumors, I've heard all the things. Obviously, everybody knows I sit on the hospital board and the bank board, so believe me, I'm hearing everything. But unless there's a strong objection, I'm going to set those meetings. Meeting set. So, having that, we have a set of minutes that we had from the February 21st. Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. The 2020 budget. Again, with Mr. Webster, I'm going to kind of let you go. And Michelle did a phenomenal job of answering some of the questions. The stabilization fund was there so that, no, I'm not talking about here. I'm talking about when she sent them out. Stabilization fund was there to take care of that extra payroll. It worked. It's there. So some of the numbers are always going to be askew. It drove me nuts because we're on a cash basis. So when you get that extra pay, when you kind of look back from a regular year to a non-regular year, you're just always going to have to keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that, you did such a good job. If you want to go, and Eric, however the two of you want to do it,
well, you want to start,
let's just get it done.
Dive in.
Just to say the same things that you said.
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to talk into the microphone. I'm sorry.
No problem. Thank you. Just to reiterate the same things that you've said, at this point, the pandemic that we have going on, it's too early to tell what the damage is going to be to our budget. So we will continue to meet. Eric and I are going to be meeting regularly, trying to get this budget under control. We've already talked about some things, as far as payouts on vacations, things that we can curtail at this moment. We will do every measure that we can to make sure expenses are at a minimum this year. So until we know more, we're kind of in a holding pattern, but we'll just do everything we can at the moment to curtail expenses.
But we have to pass something, well, you folks, not us, but we have to make a recommendation. So.
Correct. By charter, we have to have the budget passed by March 31st.
Right.
And so at this point, with the meeting being scheduled for Monday, the 23rd, knowing that the crisis probably isn't going to get any better between now and then, we want to go forward with that meeting on Monday, get it passed, and we will continue to make budget amendments as needed, because at this point, this is our best guess, and we know it's not a correct budget, but anything we brought to you guys right now would be an incorrect budget.
Well, it's a correct budget without knowing what happens. I would caution you to, it's a budget that you guys made with your best guesstimates, estimates, based on what you knew. The world has been thrown a zinger. and the city of Sandusky will get through it just like everybody else.
Absolutely. And through the commissioner chair, I would just add to what Michelle said, is we completely understand, and it is frustrating because if you look at the first 2 months, and I'm sure everyone's doing this, we were at record levels of revenue, you know, up 20% in income tax, up 20% on lodging tax, and really performing well. But the reality is the world has changed, and Michelle said it really well in that, you know, we could have totally revised this budget based on the pandemic, but that wouldn't have been any more accurate than, because really no one knows what's going to happen over the next 4 weeks, the next 8 weeks, the next 6 months. And so we really need to do exactly what you're doing, and we appreciate the leadership of the Finance Committee, is that, you know, staff's already started to hunker down to look at different alternatives based on what does happen and what could happen. And we want to check in with you and the City Commission as often as possible so that we're all dealing with new information in real time. And I greatly value the perspective of those who were here during previous recessions, because I think that will come in handy for us. And again, you know, we're trying to do our best to preserve as many services as possible, but also to make sure that we keep the city in a financially sustainable place. And I would add, the City Commission's done a lot of really good work, staff's done a lot of good work, and the Finance Committee's done a lot of good work, that us sitting with 1.1 million in payroll stabilization or 4.5 million in February of the cash reserve, we're in a position to weather a crisis because of the hard work that's been done over the last decade, and we don't want to undo all of that. This is a medical problem.
Yeah, we'll turn it into a financial, but man, looking back about making sure we had those reserves and that stabilization fund, looks like we actually knew what we were doing.
Exactly.
Mr. Chairman, real briefly, we learned from those mistakes. We learned from the mistakes we made in 08 when we didn't react fast enough. We learned through a great Finance Committee who got some great minds together, and we helped funnel the payroll stabilization. The city is in a much better situation now to weather the storm. As I said then, I hope no young person ever has to go through what we went through in 08. Those people that were around in 08 will remember those days, and it was an awful situation, but we will also remember these days, and we'll learn from this. And we have a great team. You guys are a great team, and we'll get through it with a little advice from us. And it's so hard to predict. You know, Al, you hear rumors every day. Somebody's not.
The rumor mill is out there. That's why it's obviously speaking with one voice. I'm sorry, speaking with voice, and obviously that's got to be you, Eric. No indifference to Mr. Brady, but
I understand.
It's good. I mean, so that there's not, well, this person said this and that person said this, and never mind. That's my own.
That's the one thing we can learn from that. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody cares. Everybody's down here working. But unfortunately, speaking with one voice keeps the story straight, because in today's environment, things change in 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
You know, that the phone in 08 wasn't what it is today.
Jim, if before you came in, and I can't remember when you came on to the committee, which doesn't really matter, but in 07 and 08, we went through a turbulent time.
Actually, Jim came in the restructure of 06.
Okay, well, okay, but at any rate,
right.
Point being is, we then decided that once a lot of things passed, we could kind of put everything on overdrive, good, bad, or indifferent. I have deemed it necessary to probably go back to, I deemed it we were going back to a monthly meeting. Michelle will get the dates out for all the committee members. We're going to meet in April, we're going to meet in May, and we already have a June meeting, and then the committee can go from there. Because this thing's going to be such a quickly moving target that... Yeah. And I can always call a special meeting.
And if I just could...
Sure, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Through the chair to the committee, Mr. Stahl, I appreciate those remarks, and I do understand and take very seriously my role in being the spokesperson, but I just want to assure the Finance Committee that when I speak on behalf of the city, I'm speaking in a way that is informed by the great opinions and work of a lot of great staff, having checked in with the City Commission and having checked in with this committee. So I do believe it's important to have one voice ultimately for the city. but it is my job to make sure that all of your voices are reflected in those decisions that I'll have to make and communicate to the public, and I take that very seriously. So.
You've got an email in regards to the budget that answered a lot of questions. Steve, are you the only one on the phone? Steve?
Well, no one's with me, so
He's
I assume it's just me.
Hang on, we're having a hard time here, Steve.
How about this? That better?
There you go. I knew that you put that big conference room on the third floor.
Yeah.
Good.
Just had to get the phone up to my face, so yep. No, and so all you guys are coming in clear. I can hear everybody, so that's good.
Okay. So, did you get your questions answered in regards to where things are going up? And I don't know if you heard my comment about that it's going to be difficult that's 7 years. My memory always, whatever. But
11 or 12 years we'll have
11 or 12. God, I'm getting old. Thank you. But it just throws off the comparatives. But I thought, Michelle, you're...
it does. It does. And
go ahead, Steve.
And as a accrual guy, yeah, it's a little bit different. But I think, Michelle, that was good. And I think that, like, I got mine and Brent's question that we were discussing the last meeting kind of answered.
And again, being the new person on the finance committee, even Steve, if you want to pick up the phone and talk to me, or go to somebody smarter than me, go to Michelle. So, but again.
Well, obviously, before all this happened, my plan was to touch base with her, but best made plans, right?
But again, having sat through 2 other major budgets, this is my 3rd one, and none of the meetings have been pleasant. So,
yeah.
Okay, Steve, if those questions were answered, and I thought I heard you say yes.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. We were presented the budget. You see the different numbers through here. I think it's, again, based on the best known facts at the time, I think was a good conservative budget. Having said that, if there's any other further questions, anything specific, I'd be more than happy to open that up and entertain them. I would respectfully request that we make the recommendation to the commission that they approve the budget with the knowledge that things are changing rapidly. And I'd accept however we want to make that motion, but at least so that on Monday, Trevor, that they can vote on the budget, knowing what we've just said here. Unless somebody has an objection to that, I would accept a motion to recommend to the City Commission for Monday night the approval of this budget.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Again, I know you guys are going to do a phenomenal job, but you've got this team behind you, whatever you need.
Absolutely. We'll need it.
Thank you.
So, having said that, I'm just going to adjourn this meeting and thank everybody for coming out in person. Our Attorney General needs to get with the real world. We were not, the reason that you're physically here, you could not vote if you were on the phone. We needed 4 people.
Definitely.
I'm done, adjourned.
All right. Stay safe.